So welcome. We'll just stop the, yeah, okay.
Sharing, yeah. You can stop sharing the screen. Can you stop sharing the screen? I don't think I can share my screen.
Yeah, Alfia, now check, Alfia. You should be able to share because you're the co-host.
Okay. Yeah. All right, good. So let's get started. Sorry about that.
No,
Happy
it's
that
fine.
the technical glitches are gone. Okay, lovely. So good morning, leaders of tomorrow. I want to tell you a few backgrounds here. When we were kids, everything was possible. We literally put on a cape on our back and we become Superman. When you literally, I would take my mother's broom, ride on it, and voila, Harry Potter. You see a tree somewhere and you think about climbing it, and you simply do it without the slightest fear of falling. Maybe we didn't know we would fall. We just get an idea and we make it happen. Why? Because we believe. And as we grow up and become young adults, things start to become a little different. You fail in an exam and you feel, I can never make it. This becomes your new belief. When we want to start a business, you think maybe it's not as easy. And just about when you actually start a business, others tell you, hey, don't take any more risk. Heard that before, anyone? One day, we may get that brilliant idea, the one that creates more jobs, that can make our nation proud, that can even uplift the world, eradicate the poverty. And what do we say? I'm not sure. But a few years later, you will probably come across someone else in the same country or maybe another country with your very same idea, implementing it and executing it successfully. Has this happened with anybody? Type in the chat if it has, because it has happened with me. I had come up with this beautiful idea, and then somebody else comes out launching it and executes it absolutely immaculately. Happened with anybody in our audience today? Yeah, of course, several ideas, right, Nayana? Awesome. And that's the reality, right? Because the belief system that we had as children is lost somewhere growing up. Now, I personally believe that entrepreneurs are only leaders that take action. Now, I see a lot of greatness in this room. You guys are actually great leaders in the making. By just sitting here from 5 a.m. every day, and even a Saturday morning sitting here at 6 a.m., instead of snuggling out in bed, you guys are leaders in the making. Faisal, Santosh, Nayana, Anil, I don't know, the entire team, you guys are already entrepreneurs. By just, setting up empowerment talks, 5 a.m. clubs, these impactful masterminds, getting speakers, coordinating websites, social media, PR. This is entrepreneurship. It's nothing different. This is entrepreneurship. And it's basically leaders in the making. So simply put, entrepreneurs are basically leaders that actually take action. So let's celebrate being leaders, waking up at 6 a.m. and being here right now to listen to this new concept of how to make and get off the hurdles in this journey of entrepreneurship. Can we all raise our right hand? Everyone in the audience? Place it on your back, over the shoulder like this. Raise your right hand, place it on your back, and give yourself a pat. Say to yourself, I am a leader. Are we all doing that? Okay, awesome. I see some of your videos are on and some of you are not. So I already see from this, some of you are proud, erect, fully engaged, videos on, smiling, patting yourself, having a good time. Some others are probably behind the videos, folded, looking into the screen, slightly disengaged. But I'm so excited to tell you that your future is in your own hands. Go on, leaders. Let's give ourselves a high five. Being here is entrepreneurship. Let's celebrate being the leaders that we are. That's the first step taking. Now, how I got here is I started my journey at a very young age of 14, working my way through part-time, full-time, some sort of freelance jobs that I did to earn some extra pocket money during school. But at age 17, my dad had to get me a student savings bank account. Those early struggles worked some results, much better than I ever imagined. And then when I was doing my MBA around the age of 21, 22, I was feeding my curiosity on why and how do some companies get so big and so large. I mean, these companies are talking about regional and global expansions. Now, these companies just talk about duplicating and making multiple branches. But then again, why do some other companies, like my father's, barely scrape through? What do these guys do different? How do they make it all work? I mean, this curiosity was something that was haunting me during my entire MBA that I was studying about masters in business and working on case studies. And some companies, our case studies are so different from the reality that we see in middle-class families around us. And I'm sure many of us in this room are probably struggling that route for the last few years or even now. My biggest gift, I must tell you, has been boredom. I get bored very fast. And consistency bores me to bits. Like I just really cannot do the same thing forever. And I actually ended up working with different companies and in different industries. But with that curiosity, I identified the best practices that different companies use for successes. So now I want you all to raise your hand if you really want to become entrepreneurs and start something of your own. Can you all, if your videos are off, show me emojis or something. So how many of you actually want to become entrepreneurs? I call them wantrepreneurs, actually. Okay, barely 4 or 5, right? That's a good idea, to be honest, guys. It's not easy. It's a journey of ups and downs, and it's not a cake for everyone. So I'm not surprised with only 5 or 8 or 4 or 3 or 5 hands that even came up. But you know what I saw in one of these reports that I recently read? That more than 100 million startups, 100 million startups are launched every year, which is 3 startups per second. 3 just started. Oh, another 3 startups just started. Can you imagine? Like that's the cutthroat competition in terms of the new startups that are coming up. So it's not easy. So when some of you only raise your hands, I understand and I feel you, right? I mean, it's tough to find your feet. It's tough to keep them grounded deep. It takes a lot of soul searching. I call it passion haunting and purpose finding that really keeps you going. So what say, guys? Do you all still want to be a wantrepreneur? Anyone? Any more hands coming up? Still fighters? Successful entrepreneurs are always competitive. They play to win and they hate to lose. I have never ever honestly come across any successful entrepreneur that does not have that competitive spirit and that will to win. And if this is not there, it already says that entrepreneurship is probably not for you. And we have the same set of challenges in our jobs, but that's what you normally do. Okay, so let me now share a presentation and get you on path with what we've created for you today. Sorry, okay. Can y'all see my slide?
Yeah.
And voice is clear? Voice is okay for now?
All good,
Yeah.
all good.
Okay, awesome. So I've created a small 10-15 minute this thing, which talks about the secrets of 10x growth without making the 6 deadly mistakes that every entrepreneur otherwise makes, which even we probably would in some time. Just a quick one. We are all on Zoom. I'm sure distractions are very attractive. And try not to multitask too much, but it's too early to do too many things. But do put on your videos, because one thing about entrepreneurship is you want to show up. So I would encourage you all to come up, show yourselves out, and show up to grow up, right? I mean, that's how it works. And this is the new world. Take a lot of notes, chat and engage whenever you like. Please type in the chat. And if you like any ahas or if you get anything good, share an aha or share an emoji in the chat. And we can take questions in the end. Agreed? Okay, awesome. Santosh, I get that. Take note of a small diamond that you want to share in the end when we have a little bit of a discussion session. There's two reasons for this diamond. One is that you like something, and when you say it and you verbalize it, it sinks in deeper to your mind and into your subconscious, and it's faster for you to apply it. And second is it's a sort of revision for the others also. So we can go back to those points, and I mean, some other people can also relate to it, and it helps to learn, and it sinks in better and deeper. Okay, great. So let me really know, how many of you are an entrepreneur? Are you an entrepreneur already? If you are, type I in the chat. Let's see if you're already an entrepreneur. How many of you is an entrepreneur in this room? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, nice, not bad. 5, 6, okay, I'm getting like, all right, not. And then let me know, how many of you are actually a wantrepreneur who want to become an entrepreneur? So you can type 2 in the chat. Type 2 if you're a wantrepreneur. Many in the making, yeah? Yeah, okay, Kanan. Razia, all right, awesome. So we have many of you who want to become an entrepreneur. So that's awesome. And I love it. Yeah, wantrepreneur, right? Awesome, lovely. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly tell you why me and who am I. I did tell you a bit of a background already. I am Alifia. I run a company. I've been into sales all my life, and I worked with different companies. And everything that attracted me has always been about growth and scaling, because sales is about numbers. And every year, no matter what we do, the company and the targets keep on increasing. So it's just been. So I've had hands-on selling, churning around $800 million in sales revenues. And I started at a very early age in my sales career, from the age of 16 that I started. But what I really loved was the independence and the financial freedom, because having commission-only jobs or selling something and getting paid was something I could do with college. But it gave me that sense of financial freedom, which was beautiful, which I never wanted to stop from. I started now a company called Rooftop Sales, for which I'm a Chief Strategy Officer, and Global Strategy Coach for 10X CEOs, which is a franchise. Now, these are some tips I'm going to share during the presentation as well, about ideas for you who want to start off in your entrepreneurship journey. So I'm going to share a little bit about what happened and what worked and what did not work. So maybe you can get some tips on something from this, which is a very practical way of looking at it. Today, I love to help businesses to win more profitable clients consistently, and also love to make them automated, because I normally personally believe that 50%, at least 50% of your business cost, your overhead, your operation cost, should run on an autopilot, where you're not spending your time to get that income. So that's the benchmark that every business should ideally follow. So I drive by the mission to 2x every business revenue within the first year and 10x in 5 years. And that's how we work. I'm overeducated, 3 postgraduate degrees. My mom just wanted to educate her children because she wasn't very well educated. And it became her passion of life to just, she would just enroll us one after the other for master degrees, and she would just love doing it. Very fortunate to get awarded by the Indian President, R.K. Narayan. And I love driving women leadership, and I love real estate investments. I'm fanatic over property investments and hospitality technologies that keep coming around the world. So technology driven as well. So that's a little bit about me. This is my company that I run currently. This was the first startup that I had started, which was not so great. but a lot of learning lessons. But this was a digital marketing company, which was my first startup, which was started in partnership. And I'm going to come to that shortly. But this was my franchise opportunity where I learned about franchises work more successfully. And I'm going to share a little bit about that. And 10X CEOs is a platform which gives you a learned system to apply and run with it. And Global Entrepreneur Exchange is a platform created by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. And these are the principal founders. It's all about partnerships. I mean, you don't need to work hard. If you want to start a business, you could find a way to leverage and grow fast and scale your business a lot faster. Okay, so this is what I have now for you. Discover the secrets of 10X growth without making the 6 deadly mistakes that many other entrepreneurs make. Well, some don't when you have, just collaborate, Santosh. I love what you're putting into the chat. So number one, this is for everyone who wants to start a business or is currently in a business. I personally believe that a business needs to be some problem solved for the market. If you are not solving a problem, then your business is just another business in the market, and it's going to be extremely difficult for that one to really scale and grow. But how do you find that idea? Or even if you have existing businesses, how do you find it to make it more purposeful and more, can you all still see my screen? Can still see my PowerPoint, right? Okay. So how do you make it more purposeful and more useful and meaningful for the people that you want to cater to, your audience? So the most important thing is find a problem of your own to solve and make a business around that. Solve one of your own problems. Solve something that you faced yourself, something that you're convinced about, something that you faced or your family has faced or your friends have faced or anything like that. Because a problem that's actually itching you, chances are that there are many other people who have that same problem. So guess what, because things are going to get extremely hard, and they will get extremely very hard. And if you're just chasing money to start a business, or you're just chasing some normal random market opportunity, it's not going to take you too far. You are going to eventually need some extra passion to keep you going in the business that you're trying to start. Are you getting it? I mean, start chatting some chat. If anyone's got an idea about what are your problems, put in the chat so that we know which one are you thinking about, which problem are you, which is the thing that's itching you a lot. Many people start something which they faced in the childhood. Many people start something that they face in their, or they saw someone else facing something and you got moved by it, right? But it has to be an itch that you're facing somewhere. And that's what keeps you going when times get really tough. Because there will be a lot of times when you will not make money, that things will never, it happens all the time. And that's your learning curve. When you overcome that, that's when you go to the next plateau. Okay, great. Sometimes business only becomes the problem. There are cases like that also. Your business is a big problem, man. What the hell? Okay, so that's about scratch your own itch. Now, when I actually honestly started with my journey of thinking about leaving a corporate job and getting into entrepreneurship, I came across I started with a digital marketing company, like I said, because when I said I've been into sales, I came to the stage where I said, after 18 years of working, constantly working on big sales numbers and stuff, I came to this space where I thought, shit, I cannot start a business. I'm no good. Like I can't make a product. I'm not technical savvy. I just don't know where to get things and manufacture and produce. And I was completely clueless. I spent like 3-4 months totally clueless about what can I do if I have to start something on my own. Like, in college and school and after so much of education, they still never teach you. They just teach you to become employees everywhere and you become the best employee ever. But when you had to start a business, I was completely clueless. I said, I can't become a consultant. I'm not so clever. And then I realized that someone needs to give me something to sell because I've only been a salesperson. So someone give me a product and I can then go and sell. And that's what it is. And then I said, if you want to sell, you've got to do online. And then I started a digital marketing company that time. Only when I met my mentors that I realized that this was not my own passion. I was still a salesperson. I mean, I was only selling someone else's product and someone else's thing to people, but it wasn't necessarily my own passion. It wasn't necessarily my own something that I'm driven with. I'm still a salesperson. Calling it a business, yes, but I'm still a salesperson. And there was a time when I actually felt like a worthless, no matter how successful and how many awards I got in my career as an employee. When I tried to start a business, I felt a complete loser. Has anyone ever felt that? Has anyone ever felt your entire lifetime of work and hard work and success and awards and trophies has absolutely been completely time wasted and worthless? Anyone? Type I, or am I the only one who went through this total drama in my life? I'm sure many, right? Awesome. Yeah, now I'm getting a few. So, you know, and that's when I met my mentors, and they actually the first mentors that I actually had, because normally as employees, you never have coaches or mentors on board. The first time when I got into a business was the first time I had a mentor, and he made me realize that, you know what, something sparks up in you when you're talking about sales. And why do you need a product to sell? Why can't you just take this and take it to the market? And that's when I actually launched Rooftop Sales, and it's been going better than ever, you know, and that's just typically where I actually found what works and what doesn't. Great. Number 2, ask yourself the question, is this the best way that things are? Now, entrepreneurs see things differently. They see the world differently. They see things how they should be rather than how they currently are. You've got to look out of the box. You know, the game of the matchstick, when you have those 4 matchsticks and you have to join all of them with the dots without extra, and you have to go out of the box to join that matchstick. And that's how you need to be. So these are the guys who normally see the world differently. You've got to restructure. And if you really identify a problem, you need to find different and alternate ways of solving it. Get out of the box. If you're doing conventional, so many people are into IT trading. So many people are into, you know, box distribution. I mean, you know, in my industry, I see, but you know what? These are with hardly any margins. And it's such a crowded niche. Can we find a niche? So if you're becoming a digital marketer, there is someone, I think, techie, who does LinkedIn. That's it. That's your niche. So for all the other, this thing, you go anywhere else. But for one small thing, you come to me and I will do it better than anybody else. That's how you do it. So is this the best way that things are being done? Now I want everyone to be honest. That do you relate to these brands? Elon Musk, Amazon, do you relate? Does anyone in this room relate to these brands? Like, come on, I want a yes or a no. When I say relate, do you see yourself becoming these brands into whatever you're doing today? Did you have the slightest thought that these brands are beyond your reach? Let's be honest. How many of you, when I showed that example, just thought that, oh yeah, these are big global companies, these are awesome. But do you ever, when you have to see yourself into their shoes, did any of you got the slightest thought that this is beyond your reach? Let's be honest here. So that's the next point. When you're an entrepreneur, you've got to aim big and bigger. In today's world, okay, let me give you that slide. In today's world, if your business is not a brand, then you're just a commodity. And if you're just a commodity, then it can only compete on price. So unless you differentiate yourself, unless you put yourself out as a brand, can you become a nobody coffee to a Starbucks coffee? Do you still think it's out of your reach and it's out of your league to get there? So the point is that most companies, like my father's, to be very honest, keeps growing organically. They keep going straight, and there are some other companies which are leveraging big time. They're almost growing vertically. They're almost going, hype. What is the word? Oh, sorry, I'm just forgetting. Exponentially. Exponentially, yeah. They're actually growing exponentially. They grow like this. Most companies grow like this, but other companies grow. There are some companies when you leverage and you partner and you do something right. So as an entrepreneur, it's not just about, working hard, but you can have your visions high. And it's just about copying something that someone else ever did. Okay, so there are people who are just not thinking big, but they're thinking way, way, way bigger. And if you end up doing that, then you actually end up inspiring everybody else. Like, honestly, I would talk about empowerment talks here. Like, who knew it would reach such a big audience? I mean, I don't know if they even started with a vision or not, but eventually just from that problem, identifying the problem and just trying to do some actions and leaders just taking action, 200 sessions, awesome, right? I mean, who knew? And when you talk about just actions, and that's what it is, it's just leaders that take actions. And that's all that entrepreneurship is. But you don't need to necessarily think big. You can go thinking bigger. Because when you actually think bigger and you aim for the highest plateau, you will actually have no competition. Because everybody else is so busy setting realistic goals. And some studies actually showed that franchises have a success rate of 90% as compared to only 15% from businesses that are growing ground up. And that's the reason when I went for my training with 10X CEOs, I decided to take them as a franchise and bring them to Dubai. But what I also got with this is it gave me a ready-made system I tried and tested. And it gave me the case studies because they've coached clients like Samsung, they have coached clients like IKEA, they work with Tatas in India, and they've taken Gucci and these sort of brands like from nothing to big things. And when you also get that case studies from that inventory and you get access to someone who's worked with brands like that, it takes you to another level of thinking. And then suddenly sometime Amazon and these will probably not look as unachievable for us. But can we change the circle of our circumference of the people that we are talking to? 10X CEOs works on a model which talks about in 3 to 5 years, they want to make every company franchise ready. Now, what we mean by franchise ready is that it's working without you. It's working without you. So if a business is, so that's also the next point. But if you're working too much into the business, then you're not working on the strategy of the business because you're doing the day-to-day task. But that's not what you as a CEO or a business owner or an entrepreneur should do. You should only be focusing on where I go leverage, where I can go find partnerships, where I can go. That's all you need to do. But this system is franchise ready and it's a ready-made system, tried and tested, you throw to people and they're ready to do a franchise. After 5 years, we look at getting them IPO ready. Now, not every business is so ambitious to get into IPO, but at least you want to be IPO ready. That's the keyword. Means, is your business sustainable to have shareholders? Is it sustainable to have corporatization? Now, this is the exposure which a person who's a normal employee does not get. But when you get this on a partnership level, you move your thinking to a completely different level. So I would encourage you all, I don't know if it's helping, if anyone's getting an aha or something, please do chat and put in the chat. Like, this is the way you should vision and plan your businesses really going forward. Okay. Number 4 is marketing. Most entrepreneurs consider marketing as a cost. Is anyone here who considers marketing as a cost? Can all types of business, yes, all types of business can have a franchise model, Hiral. Even if you're a coach, there are biggest companies like Action Coaching. There are biggest companies who are running on a franchise model. So you can duplicate. So franchising is basically taking your genius and putting it into a system. You take your genius, which is your core expertise, and how do you put it into a system which can be duplicated? Have you ever seen Ray Kroc in a McDonald's shop? It runs, right? And the same way, there are education systems. Today, if you see the Shettys or the GEM schools, you think he's in every school? If you see After, he has franchised it completely in such a manner that it's scaling and growing. Obviously, he was the passionate. Zuleika Hospital, a lady, man, amazing, isn't it? What was she? She was just a nurse. She didn't have anything. And today she's got Zuleika hospitals all over. And she comes and gives those talks. So impressive, right? I mean, these are the role models we want to follow, but how can you duplicate? Everything can be duplicated, Hiral. Whether it's a coaching or a training or a whatever. Brain City is an example of a leverage model. We're not single coaches going and putting their stuff. They're just getting an entire group of coaching and doing it together and stuff like that. So these are ideas. These are just some throw up ideas that's coming for. Is it helping, guys? Awesome. Nice. So the next is marketing, right? So every CEO, I personally believe, should spend 70% of his time in marketing, meeting both internal and external customers. Now, who are these internal and external? External customers, everybody knows. But the internal, so basically external customers are the customers that pay you, but internal customers are your employees, the ones that you pay. So you've got to be communicating, because if you've got that vision to become the Amazon or whatever, you've got to be communicating to your external customers as well as your employees to get them aligned with your visions. Getting it? What is it about Zuleika Hospital? It's Z. It starts with S. It doesn't start with S, it starts with a Z. Focus on internal customers for high quality, yes. Because if you motivate and train your internal team, they will go and bring the business that you need. So don't ever think, there are some, especially when we are startups and when we are smaller businesses, you feel you want to control that thing. But no, the more you can put your genius into a system and teach and export, that's the fastest way to grow. Okay? Yes. So yeah, so marketing is all about marketing, but I want to express more about videos in this. Videos is what actually scales anything. So if you even have a 10-minute content, then make 10 one-minute videos instead of one 10-minute video. But in every blog and everything, you try to put videos. Videos is actually 10 times better performing on Google. And it brings 144% more sales. Someone who's actually seen your product in a video will buy it better and will buy it faster. So today, YouTube has become the new Google search. So anything and everything that you're doing, and people still don't do it enough. But try and put all your content, all your material, everything that you're trying to do and achieve into a video. And that's what works miracles. So even empowerment talks, we're doing these video calls. Now with Zoom and stuff, it's awesome, right? It's much more easy. So even if you don't have, people say they don't have content and all that. Any content you bring, break it into 10 videos and start posting it regularly. It will give you a lot of benefit, okay? This is my favorite point. This was about, it takes hustle. The number one reason why businesses fail is because of burnout. They get exhausted. As a business owner, when you start becoming an entrepreneur, you get extremely tired. As in there's so many things, and suddenly you're just not the salesperson anymore. You're also finance. You're also logistics, you're also call center, and you're also the cleaner, and you also have to get your own garbage bin. And you know, so it's just exhausting. Like, where can you put your focus, right? So I would not even just say it's hustle, but it's all about focus. So yeah, but there's one book that most of you know that I love, is the 4-Hour Work Week, and I would encourage everyone to read it again. And my favorite part in this book is about a to-do list. And it's basically, they say that have your to-do list, which should not be bigger than the size of a Post-it. and you create it in the night, and should have the maximum top 3 things that you do in a day that will make you deserve that night's sleep that you would do. It should not be bigger than a post-it. But then make also a not to-do list. And the not to-do list should not be shorter than an A4 sheet paper. So the not to-do list should be so much. Like ideally, I think the CEO's job is to focus on the things that help you to move your business forward and literally ignore everything else. So if there are tasks in your list that you need to do, which is important to do or whatever, but if it's not something that's taking your business forward, leave it, ignore it, literally ignore it. It will sit on the table for a while, you'll feel horrible about it. Eventually you start feeling it doesn't affect you anymore. I mean, really, you got to become that thick skin, because each and every day in your short posted to-do list, have at least 2 or 3 things that you have that is going to move your business forward. There cannot be a day that you just do task, but there has to be a day, every single day you've got to contribute to your business. So even the 5 a.m. club, the morning notepads that you're making, make sure something that's moving towards your goals. And I think you're focusing on that anyway. But many days there are such when we just spend doing the tasks that are pending, which is not going to help. So that's why I talk about the plus and minus. So the plus is about putting things that you need, and minus is about discarding things that you don't need to do. And the last point, knowledge is power. So everybody says knowledge is power, right? But I like to say experience is a distinction. So we need to start making the most of our time on earth. There's no time in the future that will be a better time to start a business than now. So I would say start early and start now, because a lot of us are always gifted with something or the other, and there will never be a time when you have no risk in your life. We will only live once. Let's make sure it's worth it. And we should not have any regrets, and don't fear anything. Let's go back to that childhood where we could climb that tree and not worry about falling. There's a lot of things possible and a lot of things are potential. But if you don't even try, so knowledge is power, but experience is a distinction. So it's important to practice it and try it. And every time you fail, you'll only become better. I wouldn't say with my first failed business, I'm better, any better right now. I'm sure I'm going to fail a lot more. And I do fail every single month, to be honest, with few things that I could do better. But everything that you act and do is where you get better and better. Okay, so I would definitely encourage you all that if you're thinking and you have been thinking, even if you're not quitting your job, I wouldn't normally recommend you quit your job, because the first 2 startups always fail. But just go ahead and at least do something part-time or anything, spend 2 hours in a day on working on your passion or working on what you're trying to create. You can allocate 2 hours a day, and that normally works much more than you ever need. So if you put that discipline in, it will work. Okay. So that's what it was. I mean, summary is here. Scratch your own itch, find a problem that you faced before. Is this the best way things are done? I mean, if you want to challenge the status quo, challenge it. Aim bigger, way bigger, like really, just don't limit yourself with the common sense that stops you all the time. And marketing. Normally people worry about why they're not getting sales, but guess what? Sales never comes. You need to have marketing first. You cannot skip marketing and expect sales. I'm a sales coach here, but I would tell you marketing is more important than selling. Because if you market well, sales happen. It takes a hustle and a focus on the right thing. And experience is a distinction. Just learning is not enough. You've got to act it. Because everything you learn will never be the real learning until you put it to action. Because everything we apply, the theory, 90% of the times doesn't work. I mean, at least for me, it's never worked, right? So try it and apply it. And that's what's going to give you an idea about how to do it. And we're open for questions if anybody likes to ask anything. And I hope this was valuable for you. I would want to show you, yeah, I mean, yeah, this is what it is. Yeah, any questions or any?
A wonderful morning, Althea.
Hi, Kunal Nisar, how are you?
How are you?
I saw
Thank
your
you.
stretches in the morning. I needed it, right?
But you are keeping absolutely fit. I mean, my compliments to you.
Oh,
It was a
I can't tell
wonderful
you the
session.
secret.
You have covered all the major pillars of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship both. I have only one question. I mean, don't we have to make our growth a little more sustainable? Because we are all going from 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, 25. There is no end to it. We have already started using more than 1.5 time of the reserves of the earth, and we are struggling all over. So don't we have to look that sustainable growth, ma'am?
So what I would say is be brave. There's never going to be a time where you don't have risk. Okay, but not taking action and not putting it to plan is not something that, but I always say you should have an exit plan. Now that's a secret, right? So you should always have an exit plan. So ideally you should have, like I say, even normally 50% of your income should come on an autopilot. But even when you're doing your entrepreneurship, I would say, I normally tell people you need 1 year of cash flow, or at least 2 years to be safe, to run your family without getting anything affected. So you need an exit plan always, and that's the way to do it, because that's the only time when you can take risk bravely.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Nisarji. And I think that is your itch. So
yeah,
you have to find a solution for that.
I want to show you all this one. This is a free 10x convergence happening where they're talking about how to get franchise ready and IPO ready. So if you want to register on this link, I would encourage you all want to be entrepreneurs to come on board. There's going to be CEOs, 3 CEOs who will get interviewed. One who made it franchise ready, one who made his company IPO ready and went IPO, and of course the founder of 10x CEOs and Global Entrepreneur Exchange. So if you all want, just come in. It's on the 28th and Monday. We will remind again, but I would encourage you all to partner and join. Just register yourself, and yeah, they will ask you for who's invited you. Put Alifia Sura on it if you like, and go ahead, and it will be something that will open your mind. It's just an open sharing about what the limitations are in our minds and where we take it after that. And it's very powerful. So come for this free session if you like. If anybody wants to do a normal business health check, we can do that for you guys also for free. So you can reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to give you a free business health check of your company about what you've been doing and how you can maybe tweak it a little bit. And if there's any more questions, please just feel free to share questions. And if anybody wants to share diamonds, okay, do that.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Alifia, and thanks for the link. We'll just take 10 seconds for everybody who wants to just click on the link, and you can fill it later once the session is over. So let me run through the diamonds, as you say. There is a big list, okay? But I will focus on the one main thing is find your itch and get it started. Yeah, you have gone are the days where you did not have help. Gone are the days where you felt all alone in the market. But it is not so. You have people around you who are ready to invest, who are ready to coach, who are ready to. There are incubators. There are n number of things. Just open up and show up. You'll also have people who will say, my dear friend, your idea is good, but this is not the right time. You will have even those kind of people. So whatever you have, okay, keep a day in a week wherein you come up with a good idea and share it with people. And you just do your pitch. You never know that when you will find the right pitch and when you will have that right person who's ready to invest on your business.
Absolutely.
So keep your pitch ready. Yeah, keep your pitch ready. Invest on yourself.
It will change every day as well.
Be your own brand. Yeah. Right. make yourself prepared, be on social media, read about it, study about it, go to the market and learn about all about it in Ignite Mind. Choose people whom you spend time with. So accordingly, you will get results. If you're aiming for entrepreneurs, be around entrepreneurs. Yeah. If you're planning for anything on gym, be with people who like gym, who hate gym, all kind of people. So that is how you find your tribe. And hustle, my friend, hustle. We had enough rest. We did enough of lazing around. So put your thoughts together and get that checklist done. With this note, Alifia, thank you so much, and we will open the forum for the questions. Let me start with Giri sir. Good morning, Giri sir. Go ahead. Uh-oh. Yeah.
If there are many questions, you can also type in the chat.
Yeah, I'm asking you to unmute, sir. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Naina. I think I have unmuted. Thank you, Naina, and thank you, Alifia, Sura. That Sura is the only fish can dive at any height. Like that, you are giving so many insights. Really, I am enjoying the way you are communicating, the right content you have given. It's these are all insights we need. Even though I am in the business almost 10 years, but I learned so many things from you. Lot of insights. One of the person you told that our employees is the first customer. Every time I will tell that these people, we have to communicate the customers with my employees. Today you have given very good word that they are our first customers. Okay.
Yes.
Then coming to, actually I am looking for the franchising. I have attended so many franchising thing, but I think you are the right person. I can connect with you. Thank you, Alifia. If you can give some other tips in franchise also, it can be very useful for me. Thank you, Alifia.
Definitely, I think franchising and partnerships is the best way of working. I mean, I always tell people, if you want to start a restaurant, then you can start with your own name restaurant, but 90% of startups fail normally in the first 4 to 5 years. So if you have to start a restaurant, start a McDonald's, get your learning curve. Once you figure it out, that's when you launch your own name and your own listing. So I actually started with a marketing company which didn't work, but then I started with 10x CEOs. When I understood my learning curve, that's when I launched Rooftop Sales. So it gives you a little leverage in terms of how you do it right and stuff, what works, what doesn't. And there's a lot of opportunity to look for franchise. You can always brainstorm depending on what industry you are. You can connect with me and let's do a one-on-one. I'll be happy to see wherever we can take you.
Thank you. I am in water treatment. I need a good franchising people, good connection. That's all. I know some of the person, but I need some little bit reliable people. That's all.
Sometimes working with big brand names is also worth it. So if you represent huge company brands, like for example, when I started my sales consulting and coaching, I tried to seek out partnerships with, so I started with Philips and then I started with Huawei. So these brand names were necessary for it to pitch you right and get you to that next positioning. So if you are into water treatment, then get the biggest brands in the water treatment as your distribution agreements or something. That helps you to leverage with their reputation and give you inroads into the market. And then that inroads, then you put and you upsell other things, because necessarily on that big brand, you may not make as much money, but with that inroad, you can then put other products in, which can be your upsell. Like, you know, everybody upsells, and that's the only place. So yesterday, my friend bought a watch from Max. She got a Huawei, whatever the watch. And then they gave her an upsell with a screen protector. So the watch was 340 dirhams. And the upsell, the screen protection was 550 dirhams. So that's where the margin was, because on the watch definitely didn't have any money, but the margin was on the screen protection. So go with Huawei and the big brands, get big brands on board, and then give services as your value add. That's where your margin will be hiding. And that's how you make money.
Thank you, Alifia.
And that I call a aha moment. And that is an aha moment. All right, I will quickly unmute Shamir because he's also something to do with the water treatment, if I understand it correctly. Shamir, go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Olivia. Wonderful, wonderful session. Amazing contents. It seems like it's a juice of so many knowledge, so many books in 10 minutes. You know, you're given something like that. There is something which struck my mind was that when you said your entrepreneurship should not chase for the money, it should be for your idea which you develop eventually. But there's a very thin line. We all want to be entrepreneurs for money. We don't want to be a social giver here. You know, money is the core reason for us to venture out in various businesses. So
Correct.
how to distinguish that thin line where you have overlapping the passion with the money?
Okay, great question. So when we spoke about entrepreneurship for a passion rather than money was in the point when I spoke about follow your own itch. So everything makes money anyway. Everything makes money. I mean, there's nothing in this world that does not. But there are some people that get into a business. For example, you get into blockchain right now. But that's not probably something that it's itched you ever in your life. Like just because everybody is doing blockchain, you get into blockchain for the sake of money. And, you know, some people want to get into cryptocurrency. That makes a lot of money. So you don't just pick any industry because it makes money, but you find an industry that you faced a problem with in your own personal life, because eventually when you want to get people on board, like you want to influence people to partner with you, or you want to influence people. And if you face that problem yourself in your life somewhere, you'll have a different level of conviction when you talk. And that conviction will come only if you, like when I was selling digital marketing, it was making money, but it wasn't something that was my own conviction. That wasn't coming somewhere, right? So it was just a sales job in spite of it being a business. So it was my business, but it wasn't something that it was truly driven passionately from me. So if you can find a problem that you faced in your childhood or in your entire lifetime, the chances are that other people around you also have the same problem. And then it's about how you pitch it, how do you package it, how do you put it together, how do you brand it, how do you partner, how do you franchise, how do you leverage? And then you create that entire go-to-market strategy and take it forward. And you will make money. Nobody doesn't make money. I mean, come on, you've got to know how to make money. Anything can make money. But if it's something that you're convinced about, or if it's your conviction is there, then it will be a different. And when when things get really tough for you, at least something that you are convinced that it was a problem that you ever faced, or even if you solve that same problem for 1 or 2 customers, you will have that faith that, you know what, people need this. There are people who failed, and I have faced this issue, and people need this, and that will keep you going in those low times, you know. So there will be times which are very, very low, but then that will keep you going. Otherwise, you'll give up. If it's just a monetary drive, you will give up. It's always much deeper than money.
I agree. Very well said. Very well said.
The cash.
Yes, very well said. I think it started when you said you start believing in yourself that whatever you're venturing out is good, eventually is good. Whether your why is before why you're doing it, I think it makes a lot of sense. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Shamir. Here, I would like to pull on Alifia's slide wherein she put some pictures and she said, these people change the world. So you need to get into that zone. Get into that zone and think, what is that I can bring in which will change the world? It will take time, but equip yourself and bring that to us. I'm waiting for you, Shamir.
Yeah, you see, Facebook, he was driven by a certain concept, and that's why he went and solved it. If you see, even Amazon, they faced something, and he said, why should I go and get things from here, there, and all? Let me do it on. There was some drive that came from his personal. Steve Jobs, classic example, right? He already wanted to disrupt, and he wanted to. So that conviction was there, and then he had to just make it happen.
Yeah. All right. So we have Velapan Pillai. Sir, please place your questions. Keep it a little short. We can't hear you, sir. Go ahead. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
I can mild.
Oh,
but
yeah. Very, very feeble. Very feeble. Little loud, little loud. No, sir. If you can type your question in the chat, would be good. I'll come back.
Question in the chat would be good. I'll come back. Okay.
Oh. Thank you. We have Razia. Razia, I'll unmute you.
Hello. Good morning. Alifia. Very beautiful presentation. I must say, it's a beautiful presentation. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it precise. The question. I don't want to take up time. So, okay, I got the aha moment when Naina said she also got the aha moment. I don't know. We both relate very much. And when approaching a franchise, that's what I want to know. When we are approaching a franchise for getting to franchise with someone or collaborate with someone, what are the key questions we should keep in mind, and what are the key concepts like risks we should be aware of?
Okay. So usually when you want to get to a franchise or even get to a partnership, because sometimes, you can have a franchise, sometimes you can have a partnership. I personally believe in giving before you get. So if you're convinced that you want to work with them, then normally give them a little bit of business or give them something, or, get them a client first, show that it's working so that it's even a proof for you that it works. So before you get into a big time partnership, it's always good to test it a little bit beforehand. So it's also, so a lot of your questions that you have no clarity on right now that you're posting will get clear when you do the trial round. So, if it's a restaurant or whatever, you see how they're operating and you have a conversation with the founders or whatever, and then you see the value system. I like to work with what I learned, tough lessons, to be honest, is which in sales I always used to do. But when I started my own company, I probably didn't do very well, to be honest. But I think you work with people more than products. So in sales, we always know rapport building is important. And until you make a friend across the counter, it doesn't work, right? But so when you're looking at franchise, you want to have that stability. You want to make sure the systems, sometimes when it's a very big company, then you want to know how structured the paperwork is. The paperwork needs to be extremely structured and systemed and, that sort of a thing. And ideally try it and understand the person. So if it's not a very big franchise, you want to know them better, and you want to understand that your value systems are matching. Because sometimes, there's this entire thing about matching value systems. For you, honesty and transparency would be high, but maybe for someone else, profits is more high than honesty. So honesty is also in there. So if I have a value system where I say integrity and honesty is on the highest, but for my franchise owner, profits and this thing is highest, and then integrity and honesty is also there. That means they're not doing dishonest work, but profits is higher than integrity and honesty, So if you watch these value versus things, so this sometimes gives you a clash. So what I found with 10X CEOs when I partnered with them, I saw they were completely selfless. They were not about profits or money, and they were not about getting that percentage. Or what really worked was they completely moved me. Like if I know anything about entrepreneurship today, is completely thanks to this team. So Joeshwar Chi, who's also been on the Awesome Walkers platform before, and these are all Malaysian based. But I'm in it for the people. I'm not in it for the, and it's a complete, like I would want to give them at least 10 times of what they've given me. So that's what it is, right? So that's the sort of franchise agreement that you want to bring together. And that's what takes you another level. But yeah, those value systems need to match, I feel, with any company that you get in. And then of course the commercials and everything will work out. But take that as your first step is what, even when you're hiring someone, take the values first and the attitude first, and then skills can be learned on the job. But the attitude of the person is, I feel, more important than the skills he's got. He may be extremely skilled, but he may not have the right attitude, which will not go run the longer way. I'd rather have someone who's slightly lesser skilled, but someone with the right attitude, which matches my value system, which works longer run. So I don't know if I answered your question. But we normally have systems and we have these sheets that the 10x platform have, which you just follow and check box, and you keep the thinking out of the process. Because when you start thinking and you put your mind to it, then you just screw up everything, right? So you just follow the 1, 2, 3, you keep the system. Every time you want to create a system, you keep the thinking out of the process. And that's when it makes it a more calculated, quantified the decision. So you have like quantifying. So we rate everything on a number. When you think you rate it as a 5, rate it as an 8, then you do the total. And then you compare 3 franchises. And then you see which has the highest rating. So when you keep the thinking and the emotion out of the process, you make much more qualified decisions.
Yeah, absolutely, Alifia, makes very sense. If I put it in other ways, okay. For example, if I go to McDonald's and I tell him, look, I'm a public speaker and I want to open a franchisee business for McDonald's. So straight away, they'll give me this process or the questionnaire and we'll say what type of hotel industry or whatever industry experience you have, rate yourself. And I will put it as like 0. And then McDonald's will tell me, my dear friend, why should I give you the franchisee? Right?
Absolutely.
So you need to be in that zone when you're going back to any franchisee model. So, do your homework, be prepared, and then accordingly choose your franchisee. It's not that just because McDonald's makes money, McDonald's will not see you in that way that you can make money with McDonald's. So
correct.
To put things
and sometimes franchising, you pay for it, right? You pay for the franchise. So for them, it's just a business.
Yeah, we need to pay for the name, the brand.
Yeah, they will not even care, right? They will just give you the franchise. And if you don't make your money, it is going to be a bad decision, right? So
no, in fact, they will not give you. The people who are giving the franchise, they will not give you. Like, for example, if you go to Landmark and ask them, I want to open Shoe Mart, they will not give you unless you can answer 10 to 15 questions related to the shoes.
True.
So that's how it is. Okay. All right, quickly, Nazar, I'm unmuting you. Nazar ji, are you there?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for unmuting me. Actually, I just went and came back again. Alifa Sura, hello.
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Very fantastic. Good. Happy morning. And Alifa Sura, your name itself, same thing gives so much impact. Really, Alifa Sura, very nice name. Gives me something kind of boozing up. Very nice, very nice. The way you've been talking, your smiling face, sticky eyes, handing us your gestures and using your hands, really is great. Pakka businessman, businesswoman, entrepreneur, whatever you're talking about. I got a question. I got 2 questions. What do you do? How you do? You are an entrepreneur, right? How you do? What do you do? Number 1. Number 2 question is, see, business, as for me, business never fails. The way you do is fail, That is what really things I feel about it. See, your points all to be, really got enriched and excel, something like that. Even I've been watching through all the chatting box, messages. Oh my God, messages, giving high kind of a definition messages all. Really, it's very good messages I've got into, chat box, as if the same like the way you talk. And my question is, Madam Alifa Sura, the thing is, see, I got my relatives doing a business for 8 years. The thing is, the problem is, making of money. Business, okay. What about money? You're spending all the time, you're spending all the way, from home, away from home. But if you're not making a profit, profitability not there is the issues starting up. The whole problem because of money. I know that. The family fight each other because of money. Because they compare, they expect more, they expect the unexpected. So if the business doesn't work well, changing business often, is it okay? Changing business, just like that, monkey business like. Is it okay? The person who got changed the business, he got into problem. Again, he wanted to go and work for somebody. What is this? The thing is, the woman, the family head woman, she want to do some business because my husband, he doesn't do the business very good. So I want to do something. So this is things going on in and around.
Nazarji, we understood your question.
Yeah. Go ahead, got it. I know you are top of them more. Thank you. That's my question, Alifa Sura. Okay. Please go ahead.
So too many questions on that, but taking the first one, what I do, how I do. So I normally run sales trainings, which I get into a group and people get in there. But then after that, we do coaching, because we feel that trainings is whatever I taught you. I mean, I said today is something that you will keep with you for say 24 hours or 48 hours. But the best speakers and the best trainings you will consume for like maybe a month, but eventually you come back to your own ways. But what really works is the habit tracker that you guys do at 5 a.m. club, right? So it's about the coaching and changing habits. And I feel it's about changing habits that helps. So coaching is something that takes everybody another mile away. So we normally have, if you focus only on sales, then we have a year, 1 year sort of an engagement where we do coaching. On the 10X platform, some of your questions were about businesses always do well, but then they don't necessarily make money and things like that. Now, one thing about entrepreneurs is when you see a problem, you go solve it. Then you see another problem, entrepreneurs go run and solve it. And then they solve the 4th one, they solve the 5th one, and they solve the 8th one, and they solve the 12th one, and then they get tired because it's exhausting. But the real problem, what was bringing your business down, was problem number 22, which you didn't even get to. So because entrepreneurs are working inside the business rather than on the business, nobody takes a step back and looks at the strategy of his business. Nobody is, 99%, even the last 8 years, 9-year-old businesses, they have similar business happening every year. If you're doing the same revenue in your business for the last 5 years, you've had a degrowth. You've not scaled, you've not grown, because inflation is already bringing your business down. So and if this happens and you don't understand how to control this, shut down your business. I would say that, shut down your business. If you're not making as much money as you were in the job before you started a business, quit the business, get back to job. Because if your job is paying you more than the business, I mean, yeah, you test it for a while, right? But if you don't understand the idea about how to make it profitable, every business, like you rightly said, can be profitable. If you're an investor, anybody in this group, I'm a real estate investor. I love real estate. It gives me not more than 6% return per annum. If anyone's going into stocks, maybe you'll get 8 to 9% returns per annum. But a business can give you 30% returns per annum. And the business is the only one that can actually even get you. So the benchmark for most global companies, when I work with companies like Samsung in the past, they work on 65% GP. The benchmark for global companies is 45% NP. And if you're not making 40% profits in your business, you need to shut down. So, I mean, of course, I mean, people are not always that ambitious, but these are the global benchmarks. When you're working on global benchmarks, you're talking about 40% NP. And can you get that? And that's when your company becomes IPO ready, or that's when your company becomes angel investor ready or a venture capitalist ready. Because if you're not making more than 40% net profit, nobody wants to put their fingers in your business. So how do you do that? Right? So these are strategies and these are techniques that Silicon Valley companies have mastered and done it. But sometimes we are not educated enough, or we don't have that platform where we want to put those systems in place. And these are tried and tested systems. Most entrepreneurs have studied the last course after school, maybe masters or whatever they've done. In the last 10 years, most of them have not educated and got themselves up to anything else. Forget about entrepreneurs, even employees, I would say that, including me. Like, I used to love studying, but we never learned so much that time. And that's why your bottleneck becomes a bottleneck. But why can't, if Zulekha could be a nobody and became what she did, why can't we all make our businesses take them there? So it's about where you want to see your vision and how do you keep measuring with a microscopic view. But how do you have your benchmarks? You need to have, first of all, the blueprint of what you want to achieve in your business. If you don't have clarity on that blueprint, you're just going to be solving 7, 8, 9 problems, and then you'll not even reach the 22nd problem. So what 10X CEO has as a system, I like to tell you that they have a 10X wheel, like how you have the family wheel, your life wheel that you use in 5 a.m. Yeah. So we have a strategy wheel, which is the 10 pillars of a business, which all of them need to work together. And there are questions and criteria which you rate it. And this is the business health check we do for free. So if anybody is confused about what your business is and how screwed up you are or how worse any area is, or keep on working on random problems, but don't know which one is the one that's pulling you lowest down, then reach out to me and I would love to do this free health check. And why we're doing this is because we're doing 1,000 companies research white paper about why 1,000 entrepreneurs. So it's a research white paper where we would, even if you have open, we would publish your name on it. But yeah, but it's just basically 10 pillars and criteria on each of them, which you rate and rank. And then you identify which is the one which is putting you down. And like the life wheel, I never work on all 10 areas of life together. We only work on 3 biggest pillars that you need to focus on for the short term. And then you work on them for 6 to 8 months. When you fix them a little bit, then you focus on the next 3 pillars that's bringing you down. You can't focus on everything together. A human person cannot do 10 tasks a day. My to-do list is less than 3 tasks. So you cannot focus on so many things. We are not geniuses and we're not robots. So when you focus with that complete deep focus, things start happening magic. And that experience talk can take you through. So, and if you're not getting it, close down your business because it's not a no-brainer. It's not an easy thing to run a business. But you need to be committed to engage and learn and keep yourself growing.
Right. Thank you, Alifia. I hope, Nazarji, you do the complete check before you finally close down the business. Never say I went to 5 a.m. They told me to close down the business. So don't do that. Please consult the specialist. Get that thing checked. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Nazarji. All right, Kunain. Kunainji, are there? Good morning.
Very good morning. Thank you, Naina, and thank you, Alifia ji. Very insightful session, learned a lot. Quick question, ma'am. You have motivated me to shift me from my mindset of employee to entrepreneur. The question is, it's what I know that it's all about mindset. Now, when I am going to change my mindset, something going to stop me, sort of fear. So what exactly you suggest anyone who wants to shift or want to be entrepreneur, what kind of fears would be and how to kill those fears and move forward? Thank you, ma'am.
Well, honestly, I'm not a life skills expert, but from my personal experience, action is the only thing that kills fear. So I'm more of a number person. I just love numbers and bottom lines and profits, and that's what drives me completely. But from personal experience, I think we overjudge ourselves a lot, and we overanalyze things, and we just I just say, go back to your childhood and forget about, jo hona hai hoga sort of a thing, right? I mean, let it happen. So I read in one book which said, take the action, fix it later. So if it didn't work out, fix it. But focus more on fixing your wrong actions rather than not taking an action because, so I just say we just got one life to live. I've already lived half my life. I'm not going to live as much as I already lived. So I'm not ready to die without having everything tried. So don't want fear stopping you or just take the plunge. As long as you have a little bit of backup, that's what lets you take a calculated fear. So as long as you again have provisions to safeguard your family, like I had rental incomes coming. That's when I could take this leap to say, let's try, let's see what it is. So, so as long as you have some sort of a backup in your life, then you can go out and be more bold in your life. But it's just one life, yeah. So how worse can it be? How bad? You can analyze sometimes how bad can it be if things just go completely south. Then see what's the work, how to not try.
All right, dear friends, let's all use the reaction button and show our gratitude for Alifia for sharing that nuts and bits in a compact format. For more, we can always meet her one-to-one or also speak to her in that 10X program. I'm sure we'll be able to see her talking. If not, we will also give you more opportunities to meet her, talk to her, and also talk to her one-to-one. Let's use a reaction button. Come on. Thank you so much, Alifia. Thank you once
Thank you very
again.
much. I really had a good time,
sure
and I
you
hope you all
shared.
enjoyed as much as I did. I really enjoyed this morning, and thank you for the opportunity. Nayana, Santosh, all you guys are
Yeah,
awesome
and
people. Love you loads.
yeah, sorry if we have taken a little more time than we told you. So it just happens. And I know you for sure that you're engaged in another program from 7:30 onwards.
Yeah,
So
we have a
sorry on
referral
that,
network.
and
Why
you
don't
can
you all
leave
come
now.
for that? Everyone can join the referral network
Yes.
where we're doing exchange leads for your business. So join for that one. Anil, why don't you give the link to our Entrepreneur Connect, which is starting at 7:30. So I'll see you all in the other room. If you're all free, it's 7:30 every Saturday mornings. Okay. All right, guys. See you all.
Absolutely.
See you later. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alifia. Thank you. Yeah. Santosh, we can stop live maybe.
You are the host. You can stop live.